What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Movie Emporium's movie review of See How They Run, the newest film from Tom George. So, See How They Run is a very interesting film. It is basically using Agatha Christie's The Mousetrap to basically imbue this murder mystery. So, in essence, what the story is we have a constable and a detective played by Sam Rockwell and Saoirse Ronan. There is a movie version adaptation of The Mousetrap that is being developed. The Hollywood director is killed, and they have to solve who is the murderer, which is what Agatha Christie's stories are very much known for. So in the process, we meet people like Harrison Dickinson, who plays Richard Attenborough. We meet David Oyelowo, who plays the screenwriter. We start meeting like people like the usher. We start meeting Ruth Wilson's character, who is kind of the stage owner, who runs the stage itself. So similar to stuff like Knives Out or even the Hercule Poirot films, basically it's a how do they figure out who did it and what are the clues that are left behind. And very much the murder is being played out very much like the play of The Mousetrap, which is very successful and actually still continues to this day, even though it's been running since 1953. So with that said, that's kind of the storyline. They have to figure out who the murderer is. And these stories are starting to become kind of a dime a dozen, to be fairly honest. They're very unique. They're very fun. I think Gosford Park was very much a murder mystery and stuff like that. And this movie is something that is using that technique and is using it very interestingly. Like I said, it's using the Agatha Christie, The Mousetrap play as its kind of, center focus on how it expands upon the story. But it also feels very much like a Wes Anderson meets Robert Altman style movie with like the camera work and the ideas being presented and like how it uses like, I would say, cross-cutting of individuals. So you have like one character here, one character here. It's very much Wes Anderson. And on top of that, Adrien Brody's in this movie, which he's in a lot of Wes Anderson's movies. And so I was intrigued by it. I think the trailer looked pretty entertaining. It has Sam Rockwell and Saoirse Ronan, which are fantastic. Ruth Wilson and, of course, David Oyelowo. And it looked like it could be a lot of fun, but unfortunately it's coming out September, which not necessarily means a bad thing, but a lot of times if they're aiming for either like the award season or they're aiming for like try to be a hit, they're never usually going to put in like September because kids are back in school and stuff like that. So the question remains, does this movie, which like I said is using the Agatha Christie play and it's kind of murder mystery, does it work as a movie? I would say this. Yes, it's actually quite entertaining to watch. I think the characters in the movie, the actors and actresses in the movie have a lot of fun with what they're doing. I think the like cross-cutting using the Robert Altman meets Wes Anderson style really works for the film. I just don't think it's a very good film, to be fairly honest. I think it's a little kind of bland in a lot of respects. It tries too hard to be, like the Agatha Christie, trying to be very meta in its commentary. But once you get to the conclusion after the 98 minutes, which is really brisk for a movie like this, I didn't feel like I really kind of got anything out of it, to be fairly honest. I think it's a movie you'll go in, you'll enjoy it for the 98 minutes on screen, but then you'll remember that there's stuff like Knives Out, and there's stuff like, Murder on the Orient Express, or anything like that nature, or even Gosford Park, where they're much more instinctively, much more fun, I guess, in their own right. They're better done films in a lot of aspects, but I think this movie does a pretty nice job with, like, its camera work, and its visual work, and its, sound effects, stuff like that. It really gives a 1950s pop and all that good stuff. But it's just, to me personally, it feels like the movie is very predictable and it goes places that you honestly expect, to be fairly honest. You kind of predict who the murderer is going to be. It does try to do some twists and turns which don't really work to full effect. And I think in the end, using Agatha Christie's The Mousetrap play as kind of the basic structure for this movie is interesting, but I think it would have been a lot cooler if they'd done like their own thing, if they'd done like what Knives Out did, which is a very much model in the Agatha Christie world, but it's not an Agatha Christie style situation. But here they attempt to do it, and I don't think it ultimately works. I just think it's more of an entertaining film with not really much. It's more, I guess you could call hollow and more kind of like more fluff than it really is an entertaining film. And on top of that, Sam Rockwell's him doing a British accent just really doesn't work in this movie. You can really tell that he's struggling to keep that, to maintain that accent while knowing that he's an American actor and stuff like that. It really would have worked if like maybe he came from a different country, came from America over here because he was good at what he does. But to be fairly honest, I think in the end, kind of complete this review, it's still an entertaining movie. I still think everybody's having fun. Like I said, I still think it's a movie that really just shines when it comes to like the visual fidelity and the visual style. I just don't think it's it's a very good film, to be really honest. I don't think it's a film that I'm going to remember in, 6 months or whatever. It's just going to be one of those films that you go, oh yeah, that did come out this year, didn't it? So in the end, entertaining film, just not a very good film. So we'll leave it at that. But anyways, with that said, that is my take on See How They Run. Like I said, it's a film coming in theaters very, very soon. But with that said, thank you so much for watching. Comments below. Let me know if you're interested in seeing this film. What's your favorite murder mystery film? All that good stuff. Otherwise, if you like what you see on this channel, hit the subscribe button to join Movie Emporium. Hit that notification bell at the top to find what's coming next. If you like this video, awesome. Hit that like button. And as always, we'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out.